All right, everybody. What is up? We are back for another episode of Dave's R&R. Your host here, Dave. The past couple episodes, we've been going through our NFL previews. Haven't had a lot of time to record other episodes, but today I have for you a movie review. We will be reviewing the newest horror movie, Halloween Ends. This is, I believe, the 13th film spanning over 40 years of Halloween history from different timelines, different remakes. The Halloween series is definitely known as one of the most iconic horror series in the history of history. It's considered one of the movies that really started the slasher genre, and the tagline for this movie really came down to this is it. It's called Halloween Ends. This is where the story of Michael Myers is supposed to end. And this movie has been hyped up for so long now just because of how iconic Michael Myers is. And the reception has been an absolute mixed bag so far. I came out of the movie, and the first thing I said was this movie is going to be controversial. And I even put up a poll after the day one release on Twitter asking people that have seen the movie to post their rating. I gave them three options out of 10, a 1 through 4, 5 through 7, 8 through 10. The 1 through 4 actually got the majority at 48%, 5 through 7 got 29%, and 8 through 10 got 23%. So this is certainly a mixed bag, and this review will go into why it's such a critical movie, why it's so controversial, why the fans are split on this. A tiny majority, like a vast majority, are kind of on the other end, but it's definitely not what I think anyone expected going into it. And that's where my review's really going to start off here. The movie was shown to be Michael Myers' final stand, Jamie Lee Curtis's curtain call in the Halloween series. She came back to reprise her role as Laruie Strode one last time. After the first movie released over 40 years ago, she came in for the new trilogy, and this is supposed to be it, her final showdown with Michael Myers. So really going into it, everyone was thinking, is Jamie Lee Curtis going to end Michael Myers? Or is Michael Myers going to end Jamie Lee Curtis, leaving the door open for potential Halloween movies down the line? Like, say, it's the end of Jamie Lee Curtis's character. The movie, it didn't really highlight that too much in it, really. I think, and the big thing that's been controversial so far, right now, this is going to be a spoiler filled review. Turn around right now if you don't want to hear any more. This movie really focused on a new character that was brought in this movie, which I don't know if I really like that. We got a new character by the name of Corey. And Corey, they showed his background in the beginning of the movie when he was a teenager babysitting. He got locked in a door. He panicked when he was babysitting. He kicked the door open. The little kid who was holding it shut fell over a staircase and died. The parents went crazy on him, and he got arrested, but he got released back into the real world. And the movie really starts with that story and starts with his blooming love with Laurie's granddaughter, Allison. And it's certainly really weird to me that I think it was about the first quarter to one third of the movie just really focused on their relationship. And they had to do that to try to build Corey up because he ends up being more of the bad guy in this movie than Michael Myers. But I just don't know if that's the direction they really should have gone with the final showdown that's supposed to be in this movie. But anyways, they used Corey's crazy background to form this relationship with Allison. And while she believes that Corey's just this misunderstood guy who had a stroke of bad luck in the past, the movie kind of turns down a path where evil is actually in him. And this kind of shows at one point where he is confronted by Michael Myers. Michael Myers lets him escape, and he keeps going back to Michael to learn to kill, essentially feeding Michael Myers humans to kill. So he's essentially like Michael Myers' apprentice in this movie. And this setup kind of thoughts throughout the whole movie, at least for me, and I'm sure a lot of other people. The initial thought was they're really going to kill off Michael Myers and have this new guy, Corey, who isn't that great of a character, if we're being honest, to be the next Stranger, the next The Thing, the next Michael Myers. But They didn't end up going that route as the movie came to the conclusion. But I think that's the biggest negative about this movie, and it's something that I kind of harping on a lot. It's Halloween Ends. This is supposed to be Michael Myers. This is supposed to be Laurie Strode. This is supposed to be them. This isn't supposed to be the Corey show. I didn't need all this background of Corey. I didn't need him to take this apprentice role. While it was kind of an interesting thing we haven't really seen before in horror movies, at least any mainstream ones, it's just something I don't think they should have gone with in this movie. And if you ask my opinion, I do think that the movie before this one, Halloween Kills, I think if they introduced Corey in that one, kind of had him as a background character in that one, and maybe more of a main character in this one, I think I would have been okay with it. But at the end of the day, it wasn't their best decision. And I do really want to see the original script they had for these past two movies, because the rumors are before COVID, Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends were supposed to both take place on the same night in the movie timeline, but due to COVID, that all got scrapped, and we ended up with the two movies we got. I really want to see what direction they went with that, because the Apprentice thing may not have worked as well in that situation, or maybe if they had more time to expand on it, it could have. But cramming it all into the first 30-45 minutes of this movie was definitely not their best decision, in my opinion. Now, we'll go on to something I really did like about this movie, and it was the final showdown that we got between Michael Myers and Laurie. First of all, Jamie Lee Curtis set it up completely awesomely. Like, I don't even know how to put in the words. It's probably one of my favorite movie scenes I've seen in a long time. First, it started with Corey trying to come after her, and it looked like she was setting up. She was going to kill herself. She was sad that her granddaughter was leaving, and you see it from Corey's eyes. The gun goes off, and there's a splatter. He turns the corner. Jamie Lee Curtis is sitting there. She shot a pumpkin to make it look like she killed herself and just went in on Corey. And that was so original. That's something they set up perfectly, showing her light the pumpkin before that, but you didn't even think of. Like, I was about to be mind blown if she actually did, off herself right there. But of course, we needed the final showdown, so we knew that wasn't the case. But it was such a well shot scene. Lots of tension, very good there. That led into Corey stabbing himself, and then Michael Myers coming a little bit down the line. I do like their showdown. It shows a lot more of a weakened Michael Myers, which kind of questions about, the last movie seemed more like a spirit, a demon, than an actual human. And this movie kind of seemed more humanized. But Jamie Lee Curtis did get the best of him at the end of the day. It looked like she was about to let Michael choke her out. The granddaughter came in and saved her, and they ended Michael Myers. And the biggest thing for me was that they did something you don't really see in the horror movies. Usually they let the villain lay there, the police come, the ambulance comes, and then something happens. But they did take his body all the way to like a car destruction area and just mutilated the body, which was completely awesome, because it's one of those things that leaves no questions behind of, oh, maybe he'll come back, maybe he won't. But it destroying the body completely just ended the saga. And next time, if we do see Michael Myers again, it will have to be in a complete reboot. Overall, I do like how we concluded Laurie Strode's story in this movie. I like how we concluded Allison's story, all the trauma that she went through, finally getting to leave Haddonfield. So the movie did have a very strong final act, in my opinion. Just everything that led up to it was kind of tough. I mean, we only got, I think it was two Michael Myers kills throughout the whole movie. Everything else was Corey. So that was just so tough to see, and what's supposed to be the swan song of the series, that Michael Myers really wasn't as prevalent as he was thought out to be. And that was super disappointing to me as a fan since day one. When I first saw the original Halloween when I was a little kid, I wasn't alive when it officially came out, but it was the movie that really got me into horror movies, and just watching them all multiple times over the course of my life and just seeing this end into it, it kind of left a iffy taste in my mouth. And I really wanted to give this movie a good rating at the end of the day. I was expecting, an 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, which maybe would have been higher than the average, but my love for Halloween is like that. But how the movie turned into essentially the Corey show instead of Michael Myers, it definitely brings my rating down some. So I don't think I'm as low as the general public here. Like I said, my poll, about 50% of people are between the 1 and 4 out of 10 range. The Rotten Tomato reviews aren't the greatest right now. I'm going to give this movie a 6 out of 10, which is super disappointing to say, and I hate those words that are coming out of my mouth, but it's just how the first act and a half played out in this movie. I just really wish they would have done more with Michael instead of just kind of letting him take the back seat for Corey. They just needed to do a little better on that. And I'm sure we will get a complete reboot probably 5-6 years from now, with the horror genre doing so well. I mean, it's doing solid at the box office. The budget was between 20-30 million, opening weekend over 40 million. So it's clearly enough people are going to justify that Michael Myers is still a cash cow in the horror industry. But this movie, it's just not how it should have gone for Halloween Ends. It just really isn't. So that's my final review. I give it a 6 out of 10. And we're going to go from here. We're going to keep reviewing as many movies as we can. And I saw a couple other movies. At least it wasn't as bad as Don't Worry, Darling. I don't even want to get started on that one today. Maybe I'll review it down the line as like a little bonus episode. But this was mainly our Halloween Ends episode. Got a couple movies coming out in the future. Maybe I'll get Black Adam reviewing. We got Wakanda Forever coming out. Hopefully I can get some stuff like that going. And I'm going to try to just keep posting episodes when I can, doing a little more than just those NFL previews that I hope y'all are enjoying. I'm definitely following on social media. I'm going to keep trying to up that up as we go. And have a great week, everyone. If you love horror, still see the movie. If you love Michael Myers, still see the movie for the Swan Song. If horror is not really your cup of tea, stay away from this one. 6 out of 10, Halloween Ends. Y'all have a good one.